And it's Team Dreadnaught here, bringing you our first White Schwartz deck profile. Most of our players, our teammates, play the English meta, but me and a couple other people also play the Japanese meta. And I'm here to bring you, I was finally able to collect some of the pieces from what I can gather, because this set's kind of rare. This is the White Schwartz profile of Neon Genesis Evangelion. I play the red-yellow version. So without further ado, get started. Some of these names I might get wrong because I don't remember their exact translations, but I do remember all their effects by heart, so that's the most important part. So we start out with 3 Shinji preparations for deployment. He's a level 0, cost 0, 25, 1 soul. His effect is during your turn. During your turn, he gets plus 1,500. So he's a 4K attacker on your turn, but a 25 on your opponent's turn for 1 soul. So not bad, but it's not good. But he's solid enough to where you want to play 4 of them, especially in a deck where you need yellow in your levels and in your stock. Not stock, damage. Clock. In your clock, and able to use your bigger card later in the game. Then we have 4 Asuka moving. She's another 25 power level 0, but her effect is as long as you have 2 or more other characters on your field with Pilot, which is all the Asukas and Shinjis, she gains plus 1,000 all the time as a continuous effect. So she's a 35 on your turn and your opponent's. So that's pretty good for level 1, and it's about as best as you can do for a deck made 3 years ago. So
0.
Probably should have done that.
Right, yeah, level 0.
Yeah,
Sorry. But yeah, it's pretty good.
Welcome.
Probably should have done it on his Oscar map.
I know I should have done it on my Asuka play map. My Asuka, I have my new map here, so I just want to show it off a little bit. Right, whatever. Yeah, whatever.
What a bitch, bro.
Next one, the only support. It's a couple cards I still want, but you know, might as well do the profile now.
Hell yeah.
I don't think I'll be changing it anytime soon. I play 3 level 0 Asuka, pointing out mistakes. Its effect is can assist during assists all the time. All pilots and mecha units in front of her gain plus 5. And then you can rest her to give another plus 5 to a pilot or mech on your field until the end of turn. So anything in front of her that's a pilot or a mech, which is everything in this deck,
Yeah.
minus a couple cards which are never played in front. But if they are, they're usually there to suicide anyway.
Yeah.
Get plus 5, and then you can rest her to give another pilot or mecha plus 5. So it's your standard really assist card. It's good, it's useful, and thankfully Eva's kind of centers around usually salvaging pilots. So
And if that standard assist card only give 5,
yeah,
you don't even rest.
You'll always get her. And then I play 2. This is Asuka waiting in the elevator. It's a level 0. 15k. Its effects is its first effect is that it's a double. It's a Its first. Her first effect is she's a double 0. She's a double knockout for level 0s. So if she ever gets reversed by another level 0, you can reverse the thing she's fighting, which is pretty strong in the early games because they just don't want to run their thing into something that they know will die.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, and its other effect is whenever it's placed from the stage to your waiting room, you can pay 2 stock to salvage any character in your drop or waiting room. So that's pretty useful. And the thing about it is, if I remember the rulings correctly, even if she's the only card in your waiting room, when she goes to the waiting room, you can still pay 2 gauge to get herself back. So she can be a real hassle in the early game. But she's nice. Then I play 2 Hikari. She's a 5k level 0. She does not have pilot or mecha. I believe her attribute down here is student. Which doesn't do anything in this entire anime set. But it's here for its effects. Its first effect is it has bonding with a calling card Asuka Monopoly, which I'll get into later. It's basically one of their counters for for paying 1 stock. Out of Vanguard. I'm well aware. And the other effect is if you have experience 3, which means when you look at your level, if the cards in your if the level of your level zone, I think it's called.
No, level.
No, the level.
The level zone.
Is it called a level zone? If the level of all the units in your level zone equal 3 or more, this effect is active, which is experience 3. Whenever she's called to the stage from anywhere, you can pay 1 stock to salvage any character in your waiting room, which is a pretty solid ability. So if you play her for just paying 2 stock, you can get a counter and another pilot. Usually an Asuka that you want. So that's actually pretty relevant. It's a strong ability. And she's still a 5k with Assault, so you can just side attack against level zeros to to hit damage, and
Size zeros.
She's there just because. And then just for a tech-ed reason, I usually don't play him that much. I play 1 Kensuke. A level 0, 2000. His effect is during my turn, I can pay 2 stock and rest him, and salvage any pilot from my waiting room.
What's so funny about that?
It's just a strong ability. Then going on to level 1s, I play 4 Asuka Unaccepting. Her effect is, as long as I have experience 2 or more, she gains plus 1,000 forever.
Forever.
So she's basically a 6k level 1 with no cost, which is pretty strong.
Which is power.
So if you have the Asukas behind her, the pointing out mistakes, she's a 65, which is really good for a level 1 with no cost.
Yeah.
That's why you play 4 of her. She's just that damn good. Then I play 3 Asuka Monopoly.
This is the binding column.
Yeah, this is the card that...
Is it bind?
This is the card that Hikari bonds with.
Bond.
She's a level 1 for 1 cost. Counter. Choose any of your units and they get plus 2,000. It's not as good as self-sacrifice, unfortunately. But it's the next best thing that Eva's going to have, considering it was made 2-3 years ago.
Woohoo!
Yeah. But she's still definitely worth playing because a lot of things gain power in this this deck.
The stang.
Yeah. So she's still real relevant. I forget what her first ability is, but I've never used it. I want to say it's when she's played on the field. I want to say it's when she's played from your hand to your stage. I want to say it's salvage something, but I can't 100% remember. But again, I've never used it for that ability, so I don't remember. I just use it as a counter.
As a backup.
Or a backup, yeah. But I believe her first ability is when she's called to this.
So you're never saying counter, not thinking buddy.
Yeah, when I say, I do believe her first ability is when you call her to your
stage.
When you call her to your stage from your hand, you can salvage 1 pilot, I believe.
Woo.
Then 2 Asuka waiting in the test containment facility, I want to say. That's when she's awaiting her new plug suit. Level 1, pay 1, she's just a 7k vanilla. She's just your generic 7k vanilla. Every single anime has one of these in their deck, or that is made for them. There's just nothing really else for Eva to really play in red, so you play 2 of her. And then finishing out level 1s, I play 2 Eva Unit 01 ready for launch, I believe its full name is. Its effects are, its first effect is continuous. This card cannot perform a side attack. For 55 level 1 no cost, it cannot perform a side attack. You gotta go headlong into it.
Poor baby.
But its other effect is it does have Encore, discard a character. If it's ever reversed, you can rest it. So
Meaning
yeah.
keeping it alive in this game.
So yeah, it's just a nice strong beater. And when an Asuka pointing out mistakes, it's a 6,000 all the time. So it's not bad. I would like to have a third one, but I just don't. Going into level 2s, I hate this card. I play it just because I have nothing really else to play. I don't have any extra cards for this set because of how hard it is to find singles for this set for even a reasonable cost. The shipping usually makes commons way too much than they should be.
Mike, I think you've bent it.
Yeah.
Once it like fixed itself, the corner was gone.
It's a level 2, 1 cost for a backup of 3,000. So it's not even a self-sacrifice as a level 2. Like, it's so bad. The name of it is Masato driving a car. Even the name is bad.
Most freaking things are.
It's from the trial deck. It's
Alright, we're on 10 minutes, 22 seconds. by the
That's
way.
fine.
He hates
Just
self-sacrifice.
so you know.
Yeah.
Everyone
Next I
hates
have.
self-sacrifice.
Next I play 2 Asuka Cooking. There's a question mark at the end. Asuka Cooking. She's an 8K, 1 soul, level 2 for 1 cost. And she's basically an upgrade of the Asuka Unaccepting at level 1. If I have experience 3 or more, she's a 9K all the time. On my turn and my opponent's turn, which is a real strong ability. She's just a nice, strong 9K beater for a cost of 1.
Power.
Then, some real strength in the deck. This is a really expensive card. 2
Expensive
Asuka,
fuck.
2 Asuka Finishing Blow. She's a level 2, 1 cost, 45 for 1 soul. Her first effect is assist. Cards in front of her gain X power, where X is their level times 500.
I love those cards.
Yeah, so level 1s get 5, level 2s get 10, level 3s get 15, which is real powerful, but her big effect is, and this is something that impacts even decks today, on your field, on your turn, you can pay 1 stock and rest 2 of your pilots, and you can rest itself for this effect. You can rest 2 pilots, choose one of your opponent's level 0 units on their field, and send it to the waiting room. So it gets rid of their assists. It gets rid of things for like Sword Art Online, the little bird thing that keeps Celicas alive.
Pina.
Pina.
Familiar Pina.
Yeah, like
My home dog.
I don't play much of this game, but I see that level 0s are real damn important when they're in the back.
We hear him talk a lot about SAO. Purely because the people that play this game with him play SAO.
I
Yeah.
love this game.
But even against other decks, I can see that this card's real relevant because everyone loves their level 0s
Oh,
for their
yeah,
assist
for sure.
powers and other helpful
Yeah,
abilities.
like Double Survivor likes their marker. If you pay when it has like 8 markers on it, they just feel like complete garbage.
Yeah, this thing just kills level 0s, and that's such a great ability. And even when it's rested, it still gives the assist power to the things in front of it,
And
which
Yep.
pay
is
1 stock.
for killing.
Yeah.
it's pay 1
Also
stock.
pretty cheap.
It's pay 1 because it's pay 1 stock, rest 2 units.
Those are pretty cheap.
Yeah, it's pretty cheap. Yeah, and the assists are all the time. On your turn and your opponent's turn, they will get power X, where X is 500 times their level.
12 minutes, 40 seconds.
And then finishing off level 2s, this is a good one. This is the change. This is Shinji thrown. This is Shinji thrown into the fire.
Yeah, he's yelling at you.
He's screaming real hard because the next card is about to play. Well, because it goes from Shinji yelling to this guy yelling at you. You don't want this guy yelling at you. But this is Shinji thrown into the fire. I believe his actual full name is. He's a level 2, 1 stock, 8K, 1 soul. His effect is change. At the beginning of your climax stage, you can pay 1 and then choose 1 card in your hand and discard it to the waiting room to find one of these in your drop
And you're waiting.
in your waiting room and call this on top of him and then send this to the waiting room. And I'll get to what he does in a second. So yeah, he's just basically a change for 2 costs to go straight from a level 2 to a level 3. And the level 3 he turns into is a beater. He turns into this guy. This is Ava Unit 01 Awakened State. He's a level 3, cost 2, but if you change into him, he's free.
And his
You
own.
still pay 2.
Huh?
You're still paying 2 just from him.
Well, yeah, you're paying it early.
You're pretty much paying to play him still.
Yeah.
But at a
Yeah, you're still paying the same cost, but as another card in a card
As a
from your
minus
hand.
1 level in what you actually need to do.
It's a way to cheat him when you're not at 3, which is real powerful. His effect is if you've experienced 4 or more, he gains plus 15 all the time, so he's an 11K on your turn and your opponent's turn. But also he gains effect on top of that when you have 4 experience. He cannot be the target of any of your opponent's abilities. You just cannot touch him with anything. You can't touch him with whirlwind triggers, just anything that targets units. Which
things that would destroy things.
It just makes him real hard to deal with if you can't get over his power. And it's probably the only reason why I actually do like running the extra backups, because keeping this guy alive is paramount.
Yeah.
Oh, and his other effect is when he's played to the stage from anywhere, you can discard 1 card in your hand to draw 2. Power! So even on top of that, you change him, you paid 2 cards to play him, the Shinji and then the discard. and then with the 2 stock to play him and then draw 2 anyway.
15 minutes.
So you're only really negging yourself 1 just to get a much bigger unit on the field.
Well, drawing 2, yeah.
So yeah, he's good. And then the
His favorite.
the strongest unit in this deck, with the best name in my opinion. This is Ace of the European Air Force Oscar.
Ace.
She's a 10,000 level 3, pay 2 stock. Her first effect is she has a standard ability. Well, I don't think it's standard, but it's a common ability of whenever she's played from the stage from anywhere, you can choose 1 card in your clock and send it to the waiting room. So effectively a heal one. And her other effect is that whenever she attacks, if you have a climax called 3 People Waiting, which is this one, your opponent gets dealt damage equal to the amount of reversed units they have, and this damage can be nullified.
It's pretty fucking ace.
I did check that. The damage can be nullified.
What?
Yeah. I had to recheck that.
That's me.
The damage can be nullified, so if you have 2 of these on the field, you hit their 1, reverse it, attack with this, reverse it, they get burnt 1, and then the attack. Then you attack with this one, get burnt 2, then they have to take the attack. It's just seeing just how lucky your opponent really can be in hitting their climaxes to prevent damage. There's a lot of...
How angry you can be if they are lucky.
Right, because it's a lot of damage flying in 1 attack, and if you're not ready for it, it's definitely going to win the game. So
That's pretty ace, if you ask me.
she's just a strong unit.
Hell yeah.
It's also Oscar, so I have to do more.
Yeah. And then the climaxes again, you have 3 people needed, which is just your standard 2 soul trigger, and it's effective when you play it to your climax. Choose one of your draw a card, then choose one of your characters. It gets plus 2,000 and a soul till the end of turn.
Woo! Pretty basic.
And then
You have a red signature ability, which is just useful.
Yeah.
and then the other climax, which is a great name for what the effect is. It's a gate climax,
It's salvage comics.
a salvage climax. Yes, right. It's a salvage climax. And the effect is called worst situation possible, or worst possible situation. I forget how they translate it. It's just the very common. All of your units in the front get, or no, just all of your, because you guys in the back can't attack. All of your units gain plus 1,000 and a soul till end of turn.
Yay.
So it's definitely can put your opponent in the worst situation possible, aka losing. So yeah, Ava tests very well. It's definitely underpowered compared to a lot of decks that are out now. Because like I said, this particular set came out when Ava 2.22, I think, was first released in theaters as a promotional thing in Japan, which, if I remember correctly, was
Like 2010.
was 2 or 3 years ago. Like, it's been a while. It's definitely been a while. And I mean, its power level is still pretty good, but a lot of the main things definitely have, a lot of the main sets nowadays definitely have way stronger units, like Madoka Magica, Fate Zero has a lot of big stuff over it. Desgaia
This guy wasn't really printed over here.
definitely has a stronger thing.
Yeah, it was printed once.
SAO,
Stop.
the original SAO set was about even with it. SAO 2 definitely set it over it in power level terms. But yeah, that's my Neon Genesis Evangelion White Schwartz deck. Remember to comment, rate, and subscribe for more videos, and let us know what you guys want to see. We're going to have matches soon. If you have any comments, please leave them below on our YouTube or visit us at our Facebook page. And see you guys later. Thank you.